Good morning, Reed here. Thanks for joining me today as I make my breakfast and finish up my morning chores. And, I missed putting out some videos recently, and as I mentioned earlier this autumnal season, my schedule's changing up because of, all the people in my family that I care for. Time to feed the fish. There you guys go. And realizing, asking myself the question, why am I doing this? And I mean that across many things, but I've been thinking about this video series I've been engaged in for the past many years, and a recognition of I'm not walking around at Orchestra Farm, and in fact, I'm not even really cultivating the earth over there in the way that I had been at the start of these videos. And things change. And what's the thing that's changing right now in my life is, you probably noticed, and if you've been watching any of these for a while, I love making music. And this year I started work on a couple of stories. Yeah, I started a second story, so I have my Out of Time Tea House story, which is going wonderfully. I'm looking forward to setting up a second reading of that in the near future. And then, here, let's see if I can post this up here. That's a no. What if I do it like this? Almost. There we go. And I've got a second story, which is kind of a technological, biotech-ish sort of a thing that's exciting to start work on. And noticing just how much I love those creative outlets. Now, I do think that being with the earth in the ways that I have been and continue to be, but just in a different way, is also lovely and important for my balanced life. And as I've been sharing on some of the social media forums, a question of being a polymath, having a lot of varied interests, and how do I encapsulate all of that through essentially the channel on my website and how these videos function, and realizing I think I've changed, I think I've grown, and I need to maintain that growth edge. You see that egg there? Oh yeah, my wife's morning egg. And that it's okay to, yeah, that light's kind of terrible, huh? There we go. Anyway, the, maintain my growth edge by allowing myself to keep changing. That's one of the things I like with all my different creative projects is I kind of don't stay in a given lane all that long. At least that's my impression of it. I could be completely off base with that. And why did I start doing these videos? I started it as a challenge. I heard from other people that they were struggling to do this, and I was like, it can't be that hard. I think I can make a video on a weekly basis, and then because of my work habits at the time, I was like, actually, I can do 2 of these a week. And then I was just in it and doing it. And then it lasted for years, which has been great. But now I'm wondering, how am I connecting with you, and what's my purpose for connecting with you? And realizing that, what I want in my inevitable future is to be more engaged through my creative outlets. And as I explained to my wife today, I don't want to pander to an audience. So I'm not just trying to create stuff that you like, I'm trying to create stuff that I like. And I feel like that's entirely true with the music that I make, and even the stories that I write. I'm like, what's the story want to be? Can I get my sense of self out of the story to allow it to be what it is? And noticing the joy that that's bringing to me. And so even with my website, I'm noticing like aspects of, what are the offerings that are there? How is this playing in to that future goal of having 1,000 true fans that are interested in those aspects of me? And the realization of, I don't know how this video series is serving me. So I think I'm going to take a break from putting these out and for the rest of the year and reassess, like, what am I doing with this time and space? Because it does take time and energy. It might seem like a short little, 5 to 8 minute video, but it does take up more headspace. It takes up more space uploading it and drawing up all those other aspects to it. And I wanted to serve each of us better. So with that, I want to say thanks for following along this adventure of mine. And I might put out a, rare video here and there in the interim, but I want to sort myself out some more so I can be a better person for all of us. With that, you can check out my offerings at bendingreeds.com. We got a new album coming out in, I guess, a couple of weeks. Maybe it'll be out on my birthday, actually. That's funny. And I hope that you all have too much fun.